Imagine the first rays of dawn gently peeking through the thick tropical forest. It's a world covered in mist where light tries to break through giant leaves. 4 million years ago, this wasn't just the start of a new day. It was the start of a whole new era, an era no modern human had ever stepped into. Here, in the heart of Africa, we don't find the golden plains we know today. Instead, there's a huge, wet, lively tropical forest that stretches out forever, like a green ocean with no shore. Every inch of it is buzzing with life, and every corner hides a story. The mist wraps around the giant trees like a magic cloak. Their trunks, covered in moss and tangled vines, tell a tale of thousands of years of standing strong against time. The air here isn't just air. It's a mix of heavy humidity, the smell of wet earth, decaying leaves, and strange flowers that secretly release their scent, as if the forest is breathing and whispering its secrets. Dewdrops sparkle on the leaves and the forest floor, catching the first rays of sun and turning the place into a sea of scattered diamonds, a natural painting only time can create. Before us is a natural cathedral, untouched by human hands. Its roof is made of leaves, and its pillars are giant tree trunks. Every corner of it is full of life. The silence here isn't an absence of sound. It's a deep presence, sometimes broken by the calls of mysterious creatures, sounds that disappeared long ago but still whisper to those who listen. A strange bird sings its song through the trees, its flowing tunes echoing all around, as if it's a message from the distant past. The hum of insects fills the air, a hidden symphony that never stops, telling the story of millions of tiny lives that live and thrive in this unknown world. And suddenly a rustle up above. Among the branches you catch a glimpse of creatures moving lightly, perhaps a family of primates starting their day, watching the world from above, getting ready for a new adventure. The ground here is a cushion of fallen leaves, muffling footsteps and giving the forest a deep quiet, as if it's protecting its secrets from nosy eyes. In this place, on this quiet ground, the first chapter of humanity's story will begin, a story of challenge and endurance, a story of hope in the face of the unknown. The forest here isn't just a place, it's a whole world, a maze of life and colours. Every corner holds a secret, and every tree has witnessed thousands of stories. Giant trees, their trunks reaching for the sky, their branches intertwining to create a complex roof, a world hanging above our heads, known only to those who lived in it. Underneath these giants, huge ferns spread their green fronds across the ground like a magic carpet, welcoming anyone who dares to come closer. And on the decaying tree trunks, colourful fungi grow, spots of orange, purple and red, adding a touch of magic to the green forest canvas. Rivers and streams quietly make their way, their dark waters reflecting the thick plant life, as if they are magic mirrors keeping the forest image forever. Here everything is double. The forest generously provides food and shelter, but in its shadows it hides countless dangers, from predators to poisonous plants. As the sun rises higher, the forest changes. Golden rays pierce through the canopy, lighting up the fog and making everything seem to move in an endless dance. The heat increases, and life in the forest starts to get busy. New sounds join the chorus, each creature announcing its presence in its own way. Bees buzz, crickets chirp, and a distant splash breaks the silence. Every sound here is part of the symphony of primitive life. The forest never rests. Every leaf moves, every shadow changes, every insect plays its part in this grand theatre. This is the cradle of humanity, a world full of challenges and beauty, where our ancestors took their first steps on a journey of survival and discovery. And in the heart of this vibrant wilderness, a small group of our early ancestors wakes up. They open their eyes to a new day, not knowing what awaits them, but ready to face whatever comes, carrying within them the seed of humanity's great story. As a new day begins, Among the shadows of giant trees and the sounds of strange birds, our story's heroes come out of their high tree nests. They are a small group of Homo habilis, carefully climbing down from high branches, leaving behind the relative safety of the forest to face the challenges of a tough world. They aren't fully apes, and they haven't yet become the humans we know today. Instead, they are beings standing on the edge between two worlds, the animal world and the human world. They are the golden link in our evolution, the bridge we all crossed on our long journey toward being aware. Their bodies are small and thin, covered with a light layer of dark hair that shines in the sunlight filtering through the leaves. This hair isn't just for looks, it's their shield against biting insects and the heat of the day. They stand steadily on 2 feet, a revolutionary sight that changed the course of history. This standing freed their hands, allowing them to carry food, make tools, and explore the world around them with endless curiosity. Their faces carry the marks of both the past and the future. Their brows are big and their jaws are strong, reminding us of their ape ancestors. But something new is on the horizon, a more rounded skull, a bigger brain, and the seed of intelligence beginning to grow and bloom. They move through the trees very carefully, every step planned, every move thought out. In their eyes is a sparkle of caution and curiosity as they combine the agility of their tree-dwelling ancestors with the confidence of their descendants who would later conquer the earth. On the ground they walk a bit hunched over, their long arms swinging back and forth, helping them balance and giving them flexibility to move among the tangled tree trunks. But what makes them most special are their hands. Hands that are amazingly like ours, holding the secret to human progress. They have an opposable thumb which lets them hold things with great precision. This simple ability would change their future forever, opening doors to new ideas. Imagine them picking a ripe berry from among thorns, or cracking a hard nut with a sharp stone, or gently grooming each other with caring fingers. Every one of these small actions is a step towards being human. These hands are the keys to survival, the tools that will unlock the forest's secrets, give them the ability to face problems and put them on the first path of new ideas. In the heart of this small group we find a close-knit family, an older male with years of experience in his eyes and a number of young ones, including a small child clinging tightly to an adult's back, seeking safety in this unknown world. There are no words between them, no complex language. Silence surrounds them, but their communication is deep and strong. They speak through gestures, eye contact and soft hums. Every movement has meaning and every signal sends a message. A comforting look, a nod, a hand gently placed on a shoulder. These are the bonds that hold them together, giving them the strength to work as one. Their survival depends on this silent teamwork and on their ability to understand each other without needing words. Their lives follow the rhythm of the sun and seasons, they follow light and shadow, and they feel nature's changes every moment. As the sun sets, darkness and cold surround them. No fire to warm them, no light to push away the night's gloom, just the warmth of their bodies and the strength of their bond. Every evening they build their temporary nests among the high branches, away from the teeth of predators that roam the forest after dark. There, up high, they find moments of safety and peace. Their tools are simple but valuable, a sharp-edged stone they pick up from the riverbank, or a strong branch they find on the ground. Every tool is an extension of their growing intelligence. They are not the masters of the forest, but smart learners, adapting to every challenge and creating new solutions to survive. In this world full of dangers and beauty, they live in a state of constant alertness. Their senses are sharp, their eyes watch every movement, and their ears pick up the faintest sounds. because in this harsh paradise, survival goes to the most aware and intelligent. As the early morning mist clears, a small group of early humans quietly leaves their tree nests. They carefully climb down from the safety of the trees to the mysterious forest floor below. In this old world, every day is a new adventure, and every step brings the promise of discovery or unexpected danger. The most important task of the day starts right away, finding food. There's no time to waste because every moment can mean the difference between being full and being hungry. The oldest male leads them with careful steps and deep quiet, like a skilled leader who knows the forest's secrets. Every move he makes holds the wisdom of years of survival, and every gesture tells stories of battles with nature and endless challenges. He moves with quiet confidence, his dark eyes scanning the forest floor, the thick bushes and the high trees above them. In every corner, food might be hiding, or danger might be lurking. The others follow in a loose group, their senses sharp, their hearts beating with every strange sound or sudden movement in the trees. The young ones watch the adults with wide eyes, learning from every move, every sign, how to tell plants apart and how to pick up the forest's hidden sounds. Here, knowledge is passed down from one generation to the next, not through words but by watching and copying. They're a silent team connected by a shared goal, survival. Each person knows their role and every move is planned because working together is the key to surviving in this harsh world. Their search isn't just with their eyes, it's a search using all their senses. They touch the leaves, smell the air, and listen to every whisper in the wind. They aren't just looking for food, they're listening and smelling for it, picking up the smallest clues that might point to a ripe fruit or a small animal. The rustle of a lizard in the fallen leaves could be a sign of a possible meal or just nature playing a trick. The distant chattering of monkeys fills the air, and it might mean there's a fruit tree or danger coming. The faint sweet smell of ripe figs carried by the breeze gives them hope and pushes them to keep searching. The leader suddenly stops, tilts his head to catch a faint sound, and his nostrils flare as he sniffs the air for hidden clues. Then he points his long finger toward a thick bush. The signal is clear to everyone. There's something worth paying attention to. There, deep in the bushes, lies a new secret waiting to be found. The group moves forward, their steps light like ghosts, barely making a sound on the damp ground, and all their attention is on the next possible meal. When they reach the bush, their skilled hands start exploring, searching through the branches and leaves, looking for any sign of food. One of them carefully pulls back a wide leaf, revealing a bunch of bright red berries shining like jewels among the thick green. Before anyone tastes the berries, one is picked up, carefully smelled, and then rubbed on the wrist in an old ritual to test for poison, because caution here is key to survival. After he's sure, he eats one and then offers the branch to the others in a gesture that shows sharing and working together. In another corner, one of the younger males discovers a rotting tree trunk, which sparks his curiosity and promises a new discovery. He uses a strong stick to peel off the damp bark, revealing a network of tunnels full of plump, protein-rich grubs, a small treasure in a world that demands cleverness and bravery. He quickly gathers them, his fingers moving lightly and precisely, because every bite here is worth a lot. No food source is too small or unimportant. Every calorie is precious in this unforgiving world. One of them notices a spot of recently disturbed ground, and he approaches it carefully, his eye catching the smallest details. He recognizes the signs of a plant with tubers buried underground, and he gives a small smile, for he has found what he was looking for. Using his bare hands and a flat stone he picked up earlier, he starts digging, patiently and persistently moving the dirt. The work is slow and hard, but his determination doesn't waver because the need for food pushes him to keep going despite the tiredness. Finally, he uncovers a bunch of starchy roots, a hidden treasure underground. He cleans the dirt off one, breaks it in half and shares it with his companions in a scene that shows the spirit of community and mutual support. This simple act of sharing isn't just a way to survive, it's the foundation of their social structure and proof of the deep bonds of dependence and care that allow their small community to keep going in the face of challenges in this ancient world, where only those who cooperate and share survive. Imagine a world without words, without human sounds filling the air, just the whisper of the wind through the trees and the sound of careful footsteps on wet jungle leaves. In this ancient world, the body becomes the language, and a gesture is the only bridge between minds. Every movement, every pause, and every facial expression carries a message, like a secret code that only those who live in the heart of nature can understand. Here, deep in the jungle, silence speaks louder than any shout. When the leader feels danger or wants to stop, they don't need words. They quietly raise their hand and everyone stops at once, as if they are one cell, their heart beating with fear and anticipation. Bodies freeze, eyes become alert, waiting for a new signal. In this silence, instructions flow through a glance or a simple movement, and everyone understands what to do without anyone saying a word. This non-verbal communication is not just a way to survive, it's a refined art, perfected over thousands of generations. It's silent but effective, protecting them from predators and giving them a survival advantage in a harsh world. Signals are passed down through generations, from older to younger, like a precious treasure that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Facial expressions become a complete language, telling stories of fear, surprise, joy, and caution. Wide eyes, for example, are a silent alarm bell passing between group members like a flash of lightning, so everyone realizes that danger is approaching. As for a frown or a soft hum, they are a sign of confusion or the discovery of something mysterious, so eyes turn to the leader for an explanation or decision. And in moments of safety, another language appears: relaxed jaws, calm eyes, and a slight smile. These simple signals bring peace to hearts and build bridges of trust between group members. Even in the simplest moments like grooming or sharing food, social bonds are clearly seen, and gestures become a language of love and friendship that needs no translation. Gestures here are not just random signals, but precise symbols that carry clear meanings. A finger pointing to a tall tree means there's fruit waiting for us. A hand raised to the mouth means, I'm thirsty, we need water. And if someone discovers the track of a predator, they bend down and draw a shape in the dirt, mimicking the paw print, so everyone understands that danger is near and they prepare cautiously. These simple signals, despite their basic nature, hold immense power. They transfer knowledge, coordinate efforts, and ensure everyone's survival in the face of challenges. It's a basic language, but it was the first step towards humanity's greatest invention: speech. In their silence, they were laying the first bricks of a civilization that would change the face of the earth. Silent teamwork is the secret to their survival, the cornerstone of their daily lives. When they find a large fruit, two or more cooperate, their movements in sync without a single word, carrying the prize together. And if someone gets hurt, the others gather around them, offering help and protection, and each individual feels that their fate is tied to the group's fate. There's no room for selfishness here, but rather a deep understanding that strength lies in unity, and that survival belongs to the most cooperative and supportive. In every step, in every gesture, they write the story of survival, the story of the first human who learned to survive, not just by the strength of their muscles, but by their social intelligence and community spirit. And so, in the silence of the jungle, humanity's journey towards civilization began, a journey that started with a gesture, a glance and a touch before the first word was ever spoken. Imagine yourself standing in a tropical forest millions of years ago. The air is humid, the trees are super tall, and light barely peeks through the thick branches. But the thing that really grabs your attention more than anything else? The sounds. The forest is never quiet. It's like a never-ending sound show. For Homo habilis, every sound in this symphony carried a secret message, sometimes a message of life or death. Their hearing was amazingly sharp, like they had a natural radar that picked up the tiniest vibrations in the air. Over time they learned to filter out the noise, ignoring the buzzing of insects and the rustling of leaves that became part of their daily background. And instead of getting lost in all the sounds, they started to focus on the rare ones. A strange sound, an unusual movement, or even a sudden silence. Imagine the sound of a branch suddenly breaking. For them, this wasn't just a random sound. It could mean a predator was coming, or maybe a chance to find something new. Sometimes this sound would reveal a fallen beehive or a source of soft wood they could use. Staying alive in this forest depended on their skill at figuring out these noises and reading the stories the sounds around them told. Every sound had a meaning, and every meaning could change the group's fate. Some sounds were like treasure, like the sound of animals eating fruit far away. If they heard monkeys fighting or screaming in the trees, they knew there was a ripe fruit tree waiting for them. They didn't need to see the fruit with their own eyes. The sound of the monkeys was enough of a sure sign. The sounds of their monkey relatives were like traffic lights in a world without clear roads. And the buzzing of bees told them about a hive full of honey, a super valuable energy source. Honey was like liquid gold in the forest, giving them energy and moments of happiness in a tough life. Whenever they heard that buzzing, they immediately changed direction and carefully moved towards the sound. The whole group moved as one, their eyes shining with excitement and their steps getting faster with every sound cue. But they never let their guard down, because every sound could hold an unexpected surprise. Excitement and fear mixed in their hearts, and every step brought them closer to the unknown. They followed the trails of sound, as if reading an invisible map drawn in the air. The sounds of other animals were their secret tool for finding food, their guide in the forest maze, but not all sounds meant good things. Some were warnings that couldn't be ignored. Sometimes the most dangerous sound is silence itself. If the birds stopped chirping and the insects suddenly went quiet, this silence was an alarm bell telling them that something dangerous was getting close. Maybe a predator was sneaking through the shadows, eyes watching them from afar. In that moment, even the smallest creatures froze in fear and hid in their spots. The Homo habilis quickly ducked down, their bodies pressed to the ground, and their eyes searched the shadows for any movement. Every muscle in their bodies was tense, waiting impatiently for this unsettling silence to end. And if they heard the cry of a bird of prey from above, they quickly ran and hid among the thick bushes, their instinct pushing them to survive. Danger could come from the sky, and every sound carried a message that had to be understood right away. Even they added their own sounds to the forest symphony, but with great care. They used soft whispers, barely audible sound signals, just to stay in touch when they couldn't see each other. Just a hum or a simple call was enough to reassure them that everyone was still close, and no one was lost in the green maze. These small sounds were the lifeline that connected them to each other. But if danger suddenly appeared, there was another sound, a sharp, strong sound that cut through the forest's quiet like an arrow. This was the alarm, the cry that warned everyone and made them run or defend themselves. In this world, sounds weren't just background noise, they were a map, a warning system, and a guide for survival. The Homo habilis ability to listen, understand, and communicate through sounds was the secret to their survival in this world full of surprises. In the forest, those who listen well live longer. In the humid, thick air of the tropical forest, smells linger. They create an invisible map of information that's just as rich and detailed as anything you can see. For Homo habilis, their sense of smell is a powerful tool. It's a key sense that helps them find food and warns them of danger. Their noses, much more sensitive than ours, can pick up tiny changes in the air that point to important resources. The sweet, almost overwhelming smell of a tree full of ripe mangoes can be smelled from far away, pulling the group forward with the promise of a sugary feast. This smell is often their first clue, long before they can see the tree through the thick leaves. Finding food is often a search for a specific smell. They can tell the difference between the damp, earthy smell of edible mushrooms growing at the base of a tree and the strong smell of poisonous ones. They follow the faint, musky smell of small animals to their dens, or the smell of a carcass left behind by a bigger predator, which can offer a valuable chance to gather meat and marrow. The smell of fresh water, a clean and life-giving scent, is another crucial guide, leading them to streams and ponds that are essential for their daily survival. Their world isn't just navigated by sight and sound, but by following these hidden scent trails, a key skill for finding scattered resources in the forest. Smell is also a strong defense mechanism, a constant stream of information about possible dangers. The strong ammonia-like smell of a large cat predator, like a saber-toothed cat, marks its territory. When the group smells this strong scent, they immediately become more careful, changing their path to avoid a deadly encounter. The smell of fear itself, the scent given off by a scared animal, is another strong warning sign, alerting them that a predator is actively hunting nearby. They can even smell changes in the weather, the unique scent of ozone in the air that comes before a thunderstorm, giving them time to find shelter in the high branches before the downpour starts. The group also uses smell for social reasons. Like many primates, they can recognize each other by their individual smells, a way to identify their family members and tell them apart from strangers. This personal scent is a sign of identity and belonging within their small, close-knit group. The comforting smell of a mother is a source of safety for her child, a familiar anchor in a big and overwhelming world. In this way, the sense of smell weaves together the crucial threads of their existence, guiding them to food, warning them of danger, and strengthening the social bonds that are at the heart of their humanity. In the heart of the ancient forest, where giant trees tangled together and thick fog covered the ground, each day brought a new adventure, a chance to survive or perish. Even though this world was full of life, every corner hid a danger, and every shadow could be a trap waiting for an unsuspecting victim. The forest was a paradise, yes, but a paradise with teeth and claws. Here, there was no room for weakness. Staying alive was a daily fight against the forces of nature and its sharp fangs. The biggest threats weren't just from hunger or thirst, but from eyes watching silently and bodies gliding through the trees like swift hunters. Deep in the bushes, big cats hid, their strong bodies and camouflaged fur making them ghosts, seen only at the last moment. And above their heads, huge birds of prey flew in the sky, their sharp eyes scanning the ground for any movement, any chance to swoop down. As for the rivers and swamps, silent monsters waited patiently, giant crocodiles with only their eyes glowing above the water's surface, their jaws ready to snap in a flash. In this world full of dangers, our small ancestors seemed weak, their fragile bodies compared to the forest beasts. Every step could be their last if they let their guard down for just one moment. But their secret wasn't in physical strength, but in being alert together. They were each other's eyes and ears, never leaving anyone to face danger alone. Finding food was never a solo job. They moved as one body, protecting each other and sharing knowledge and experience. When they moved together, they formed a network of eyes and ears, watching every movement and every sound, ready to spot any danger before it got close. The younger ones stayed in the middle of the group, protected by the adults who stood at the edges, their eyes never missing any possible threat. If one of them saw a flicker of movement in the bushes or a glint of an eye in the shadows, they'd send a silent alarm, a signal everyone understood. Suddenly, everyone froze in place, their eyes wide, their bodies tense. Soft whispers passed between them, and they became one watchful unit, ready to run or defend themselves. Their intelligence wasn't as advanced as it is today, but it was their secret weapon. They observed, learned, and found ways to survive. They learned to read footprints and understood when a predator had passed and where dangers lurked in the forest. They knew that open riverbanks were dangerous places and that thick bushes could hide a deadly ambush, so they avoided them with great care. Even the sounds of birds and monkeys were coded messages, alarm calls warning them of approaching danger, so they would stop and listen carefully. Sometimes when they faced a small predator, they wouldn't run, but bravely face it. The adults stood firm, raising their voices, waving sticks and stones, and making themselves look bigger and more threatening. This group display, full of courage and teamwork, was often enough to scare off the attacker, proving that true strength lies in being united. As evening came, they had a critical decision to make. Where would they spend the night? Choosing shelter was a matter of life or death. As the sun set, the group headed towards a huge tree, carefully chosen after a long watch. They skillfully climbed the high branches, getting away from ground predators that were active at night, and finding safety among the branches. There they started building their nests, weaving branches and leaves together to make safe sleeping platforms for themselves and their young small forts in the heart of the forest. In the darkness of the night, they huddled together, their bodies close, their hearts beating with hope and fear. But high up, they found temporary comfort from a harsh world. And as dawn broke, they rose from their nests, ready for a new day of challenges, carrying yesterday's lessons with them and an unbreakable determination to stay together, united in facing every danger. As the sun goes down, the sky above the tropical forest lights up with orange and red colours, like a painting showing the end of another day in this old world. At this time, our group members move quickly, leaving the dark forest floor behind them and returning to their safe haven, a giant tree with strong tangled branches, a witness to thousands of sunsets. Climbing the tree isn't just a habit, but a daily ritual everyone does. Each person climbs lightly, their hands and feet feeling their way surely over the rough bark, exchanging glances and small smiles as if sharing an old secret. Even the youngest ones, clinging to the backs of the adults, carefully watch every move, learning from each step how to survive in this dangerous world. The little ones, despite their curiosity and energy, stay close to the adults, following them silently up the tree, where relative safety waits for them among the branches. This daily climb is their first shield, escaping from predators that start to roam as darkness falls, their eyes glowing below, looking for easy prey. As soon as everyone settles up high, the evening rituals begin, sharing what they gathered during the day. Here above the ground, another story of cooperation begins. Ripe fruits, Soft roots, nutritious insects, and maybe a small lizard, all are placed in one pile, waiting to be divided fairly. There's no room for selfishness or fighting here. Everyone knows that survival depends on sharing, and that one hand cannot clap in this harsh world. The oldest, the experienced one, takes on the task of distributing food. With a firm look, he makes sure everyone gets their share, so no one is left hungry. He breaks a large fruit, distributes the pieces to those around him, watching the small and large faces pick up their share with gratitude. One of the adults grinds a piece of root, turning it into soft food for the little ones to eat easily in a scene of care and tenderness. Eating together here isn't just about filling hunger, but it's a thread that connects hearts, strengthens relationships, and makes every person an important part of the group. In every bite, a silent message. We are together, we depend on each other, and cooperation is the secret to our survival. After the meal, other equally important rituals begin, grooming each other, removing dirt and insects from hair and skin. During this time, a deep quiet takes over. The sounds of the forest fade and are replaced by the whisper of gentle touches. Two sit close together, one carefully cleaning the other's hair, removing everything that got stuck during the day, in a moment of trust and care. This gentle touch isn't just for cleanliness, but it's a silent language that brings comfort, eases tension, and builds bridges of trust among everyone. With every movement, worry melts away, replaced by a feeling of safety and belonging, as if they are one big family. Adults groom the young adults care for the elders, and everyone takes part in this group ritual where no one is left alone. Under the fading sunset light, these moments turn into invisible threads that connect the group, a language of touch that shows care, acceptance, and belonging. As darkness falls, everyone starts to get ready for sleep, weaving their simple nests from leaves and branches, preparing for a new night in the tree's embrace. The sounds of the forest change. Bird chirps give way to night whispers, distant animal growls, and mysterious cries fill the air. The group members gather together, sharing warmth and safety, sleeping close to each other as if protecting themselves from the unknown world below. Up high, far from the dangers lurking in the dark, they find safety in their unity and cleverness, sleeping peacefully despite everything around them. And so another day ends, a day of searching, sharing and challenge, a day that adds a new chapter of survival and hope to their ancient story. In the quiet of the night, the group breathes steadily, their soft breaths telling a tale of incredible toughness, preparing for a new dawn that brings endless adventures and challenges in this magical ancient world. Imagine with me, deep in the thick tropical forests 4 million years ago, a small group of Homo habilis goes about their daily journey in a mysterious and awesome world. Their lives might seem very different from our modern reality, like a story from another time, but actually our roots go deep into those first moments. In that world, where trees touched the sky and fog covered everything, our ancestors lived in silence, talking with gestures and looks, and relying on simple tools they made with their hands. Their world was full of challenges and dangers, but it was also where humans first won against nature. They watched every movement in the forest, learning from bird sounds, animal tracks, and changes in the wind. They didn't have a complex language, but they understood each other with a look or a sign. If we look at our world today, we see a huge difference between modern technology and those simple stone tools, but there's a hidden thread connecting us to them. Every time they managed to gather food or protect their young from danger, they celebrated a small victory, but it meant survival. In those moments, the first signs of humanity appeared, caring, protecting, and relying on each other. They worked together in silence, understanding how important teamwork was, and knowing that survival wasn't for the strongest, but for those who cooperated the most. Their cleverness at solving problems showed up every day when they faced a hard rock or a fruit that was hard to reach. Those simple tools weren't just rocks, they were the start of human creativity. From those first moments, the story of human achievement began, a story that stretched across thousands of generations. They were the pioneers, the first to walk the forest paths, taking their unsure steps towards an unknown future. They faced storms, hunger and dangers, but they didn't give up. They didn't have fire to warm them, or words to express their feelings, or weapons to protect them from predators, but they found great strength in simplicity. They didn't just survive, they thrived, and left their first mark on Earth. Their secret was in their developing brains, able to learn and plan. A bigger brain, new ideas, and an endless desire to understand and try new things. And skilled hands that made tools and changed the fate of the human race. They knew their real strength was in their unity, in their ability to rely on each other. Their legacy of flexibility passed down through generations, reaching us today. When we look at our modern cities and think about how far we've come, we find an echo of that ancient life deep inside us. Our need for community, for care, for connection, are all extensions of those first bonds in the forest. Even our facial expressions and body language carry the marks of our ancestors, and our instinct to protect and care for our young is an ancient legacy that never dies. All these qualities go back to those simple social rules, but they were the base of every civilization that came after. Our hands that draw and build and explore are an extension of their hands that broke stones and made tools. We carry their marks in the details of our bodies, in every movement and every thought. Even our DNA carries their story, telling a tale of survival and growth. In the structure of our brains, in our instincts, in our dreams, there's an echo of those who walked the forest millions of years ago. Their social instincts still shape our societies and decide how we live and connect. Thinking about their existence isn't just studying the past, it's a journey deep into ourselves, to our true beginnings. Before we built cities and planted fields, we built shelters from branches and stones. We looked for food in the forest, lived in close-knit groups and faced the world together. We were part of nature, knowing its secrets and respecting its rules. Cooperation, adapting and social care were the keys to our survival, and they are still the keys to our success today. When faced with danger, we were always stronger together, facing the unknown with one spirit. Our silent ancestors in the ancient forest whisper to us today that the secret to survival isn't just strength, but wisdom, cooperation, and the will to live. They remind us that the human spirit, that deep desire to survive and grow, is what connects us all through time, from the shadows of the ancient forest to the lights of modern cities. But what if those old lessons are still whispering to us today? Even though skyscrapers now touch the sky where only trees once reached the clouds, the echoes of the tropical forest are still woven into our daily lives. Every time we gather as a community or solve a problem together or lend a hand to a stranger, we are, at our core, bringing back the silent teamwork of our earliest ancestors. Our sharp senses, our quickness to notice sudden sounds, our instinct to find shelter, even our love for stories around a campfire, all come from a time when staying alive depended on reading the forest's hidden signs. The desire to explore, to invent, to build tools, and to shape the world around us began with those first stone chips made under ancient trees. Today, we might not be scanning the bushes for predators, but our brains are still wired to notice patterns, to communicate without words, and to seek belonging in a group. The social bonds that kept us safe in the forest now connect us across continents and cultures. In every heartbeat, in every shared smile, there's a memory of the forest, a reminder that the journey of Homo habilis was not just about survival, but about change. Their story lives on in us, urging us to adapt, to work together, and to dream beyond what we can see. The roots of humanity run deep, and even in the modern world we are never far from the ancient canopy that shaped who we are. But imagine with me for a moment what the world looked like through ancient eyes. 4 million years ago, under the thick forests, life wasn't just a fight to survive. It was a dance between shadow and light. The morning light would sneak through the tangled leaves, painting ever-changing shapes on the forest floor. This natural mosaic wasn't just pretty, it was important clues for life. Our ancestors learned to read the forest not with words but with their eyes, which were trained to notice any small flicker or change. A sudden blurry shape could mean danger. A small change in sunlight could show a hidden path, or a ripe fruit, or a friend, quietly coming closer. Patterns of movement became a secret language, a language understood by those who watched and had wisdom. Every day they relied on this silent talk with their surroundings. They learned to move quietly, blending in with the winding shadows, avoiding the eyes of both predators and prey. Their ability to understand these visual signs was just as important as any tool or signal, a skill passed down through generations, and it shaped how we see the world even now. So when we go outside and notice how the sunlight dances around us, we carry with us a legacy older than words, the language of shadow and light, first spoken in the ancient forests and still echoing in how we see and survive today.